people, now Chrissy Teigen and all of those deleted tweets about children, naked children on stage, and her one.
I know you guys love her, but can we talk about some of Chrissy Teigen's disturbing old tweets? Now, some of these are just reactions to the show Toddlers and Tiaras, but they're a little creepy. Like this one saying, seeing little girls do splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail. Girl, what?
The best? Probably the Obama thing.
John, what's it? Oh God.
Oh God.
John?
What
Person okayed it. I would eat a human. If you were in a very...
Why can't we eat babies? What's wrong with eating babies? If we've got extra babies around that nobody wants, why can't we eat?
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do, the babies we eat, the food.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Huh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and eating me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming.
So there are a bunch of dark things that have been coming out of Hollywood the entire week. Nicki exposing people, now Chrissy Teigen and all of those deleted tweets about children, naked children on stage, and her wanting to, I don't know, eat some pizza. You know, we're going to get into the whole Pizzagate situation, and her telling people to go take a permanent dirt nap. Let's get into this crazy story time. This is going to actually start to point out a lot of things that your faves like John Legend. What do you mean, sir? Doesn't she have kids? How does she look at her children? Does she see them as like little pizzas? And you know, because I remember seeing a tweet about her talking about, oh, we're on our way to go to this party where they're serving a young pizza. What do you mean, man?
Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here. She is...
Chrissy girl, this you? Back in 2011, Chrissy Teigen tweeted out, seeing little girls do splits half naked is just ... I want to put myself in jail. Yeah, you really should, because that's a wild statement to make. But in addition to that, she also tweeted out, I'm bored. Really want to watch kids give birth. Where can I watch teens giving birth? MTV? I mean, that doesn't make sense, but I'll try. And then she goes on to reference going to jail over pizza, which now we know due to the Epstein files, that when Hollywood elites reference wanting pizza, it's them allegedly referencing wanting little kids, which is exactly what Nicki Minaj has been calling out for years in Hollywood. Their ability to sacrifice children in order to move up, the actual satanic ritualism. But if you...
Of course, I'm okay with it, but I don't mean for...
Cod sperm?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what you were saying at first. I was like, cod sperm.
God's for me.
What about bugs? Like, my mom loves bugs. There's like actually nothing I wouldn't eat or wouldn't drink or wouldn't try. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were in a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
You wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Is that terrible?
American chopper.
Why can't we eat babies? What's wrong with eating babies? If we've got extra babies around that nobody wants, why can't we eat?
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight. We are the first species to begin to understand not only are we aware of evolution, but we are evolution. We are evolution in person. And when you really think about it, our beings are a resume of the entire story of creation, from the original flaring forth, as Brian Swim called it. Every atom, molecule, cell, reptilian brain, mammalian brain, human brain and perhaps evolutionary brain, which I think is a form of brain that actually is picking up the entire pattern of creation as incarnate in you.
People always ask me how I stay so youthful. I tell them I eat well, get plenty of rest, and every third Sunday I drink the blood of a virgin. And these days, they're getting harder and harder to find.
Are you scared? We're all scared. You'd have to be crazy not to be scared.
The babies we consume, the food we consume, if the person okayed it, I would eat a person. This is what some of the celebrities have been saying in our face, and nobody blink an eye, nobody question, because things have been so normalized that people should just take it and not question anything. These are some quotes that come from CHRISTY Teigen, John Legend's wife, with 2 children, if not more, because she stayed pregnant. And y'all remember how she put on that little show during C19 when she basically said she had lost her child? You know, the baby didn't get, she had to remove it early. But she had a whole camera crew, a whole movie of her showing that she had lost this child. But we all know a lot of these people are out here eating these children, right? So this lady, while she was in the speech in a conference room talking to people, she mentioned the things that we eat, the children that we eat. This is not a planned road. This is not something that she simply just, it was a mistake. How do you make a mistake by mentioning that eating people? I would never just, even in my sleep, when you wake up and you're rumbling in your sleep, or when you're in the middle of sleep and you can actually hear yourself rumbling in your sleep, I would never make a comment about eating people even while I'm sleeping, because that's not something normal that people do, right? You don't just eat people. But this man also in the clip talks about, well, what if we have, some extra kids? We should just eat them. Extra kids? What do you mean extra kids? We don't just have extra kids just running around. Oh, who's this little delinquent? They have no parents. They're just extra in the world. Let's eat them up. This is crazy. This is crazy. But this is what celebrities and or people who are in front of you, who are influencing you, because at the end of the day, you're being influenced whether you like it or not. And if you don't train yourself, if you don't brainwash yourself, somebody else outside of you will brainwash you for you, basically, right? I remember watching this video. Now I cannot find this video to save my life. But it was CHRISTY Teigen at a picnic little thing with her 2 kids. At the time, she only had the 2 kids. I don't know how many she has now. But she was eating this chicken and she was explaining it to her kids what the meat was. And I don't believe it was chicken because it didn't look like chicken. Right? She was explaining to her kids what the meat was and why it tasted so different. And in my opinion, as someone who makes a lot of comments, not me, but CHRISTY Teigen, who makes a lot of comment about eating, consuming other human beings, I wouldn't be surprised if she was talking about a real person's meat. I'm like, oh my God, this. And CHRISTY Teigen with her moon face is always talking about consuming something or someone, or basically dabbling into like children PDF files. Because at the end of the day, what do you mean you make a comment about you want to watch a 5-year-old or a child do a split? You want to see children in lingeries. How does that even make any sense? And how did nobody notice these tweets until so far down the line? Because who just tweets stuff like this? You know what I mean? And another thing that I have to point out too, the fact that these things are starting to be so normalized, the cannibalism of it all, because it's all in the Bible. Not only is it in the Bible, but these are things that are normalized, because if you watch a lot of crime shows, very popular. They are very popular. The crime YouTube channels usually have millions of views and subscribers, millions, and all they're talking about is low vibrational things on a daily basis. People unaliving, things that are happening to other people, but they always have so much views. And also, I've talked about this before about how they used to eat black people back in the days. They have a whole book called, Negro Delicacy of Negroes or something like that. So I'm not surprised of them actually doing that. I just didn't think that, it was so big. They have such a huge community, because even books that actually talk about cannibalism and all that stuff, they're usually New York bestsellers. They're usually bestseller books. And I remember making a video about, the cannibalism and also what happened to dead bodies and why we don't have a lot of cemeteries. They don't rebuild cemeteries. We have the same old ones from before. I brought up about this man, this Asian man, who basically consumed his friend because she was beautiful. He was tutoring her. He believed that she was beautiful. He made a move she did not want it. And he basically walked through how he became that, because he used to watch these shows as a child that really programmed his mind to think that, oh, well, you could do this. You consume the person and their energy will go to you. And I also talk about this show that I watched. I believe it's called Daydreams and Nightmares and Daydreams, where they were basically consuming the people so they can basically transfer their talent to them. So I wouldn't be surprised if these people are actually out here doing the unthinkable, because they believe that if they consume the body of that person, they will gain superpowers. Just like I say, it's in the Bible has been doing human sacrifice and cannibalism for such a long time. What do you mean you have a whole group of people eating the body of a man? We pass the pieces of the body around the table in the church. For Sunday, we're eating the offering and all that stuff, but you're eating a body of a man and drinking his blood. Isn't that, isn't
The best, probably the Obama thing.
John, what's the, oh God.
Oh God.
John?
What?
What is your wife talking about?
I don't know.
Part 5. Now, let's dive into the very bizarre tweets that Chrissy has posted online about children. I'm not going to go through every single tweet because we'll be here all day, but we are going to go through the ones that I specifically find very disturbing. And I just want to be clear, these tweets were posted when the TLC show Toddlers and Tiaras was reaching its peak of success. Referencing the show, Chrissy tweeted out, "Seeing little girls do the splits half nude is just ... I want to put myself in jail." Another tweet that Chrissy posted around that same time was, "I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid." Most of you who don't know, Anthony Weiner was Hillary Clinton's kind of right-hand man, and he spent 18 months behind bars for texting a child inappropriately. So Chrissy tweeting this is like, what are we even talking about right now? Like, what are we talking about? She posted another tweet stating, "I just saw a baby that looked like a corn star. Like a trashy do anything corn star." Is this wrong to think? And that's not even all of them. Those are only the tweets that I'm able to share over here on this platform. Those tweets are obviously extremely inappropriate and never should have been posted in the first place. A lot of people have tried to explain these tweets away as just being very edgy jokes. But here's the thing. Edgy jokes are fine. But if the punchline comes at the expense of a child's innocence, it's not fine. I know for a fact that Chrissy would hate it if there were people on the internet tweeting things like that about her children. Like I said, this is not everything. There are over 10 plus years worth of vile banter between Chrissy and other users on Twitter. I was still curious to see if Target still carried Chrissy's cookware line, because I know they initially completely removed her cookware line from their website back when this all came out about Courtney Stodden. And it looks like Target brought Chrissy's cookware line back to their website, but every single item is on sale. So Target is definitely trying to part ways with Chrissy's cookware. At the end of the day, Chrissy Teigen is a grown woman, and Chrissy Teigen has been a grown woman for a very long time. Chrissy doesn't get any excuse for making fun of a newborn's name. She gets no excuse for bullying a 9-year-old online. She has absolutely no excuse for attacking a CSA survivor online for years. She has no excuse for inappropriate tweets about children online, and she has no excuse for being misogynistic and attacking Farrah Abraham. I really hope Chrissy has found the help she needs.
Now, I know a lot of people, especially in the Christian community, does like to point things out and calling it demonic and all this. Meanwhile, the Bible is full of demonic things that nobody pay attention to, like consuming other humans. Because what do you mean you're eating the body of a man? You're drinking his blood. It's literally training cannibalism. It's like training, you know, low-key training you to learn about cannibalism. Because what do you mean you're eating the body of a man so he can be a part of you? Which what you're doing is you're consuming that person so you can have their power, right? Because just like Chrissy Teigen says, if the person allows it, no one is going to give you the okay. Well, based on like the crime shows that I've watched for research purposes only, there's a group of people who literally will look for people on the internet to consume them. I'm like, girl, what do you mean? Just like the show, the movie, Bones and All. They consume the people. Like the girl in the very last end of the movie, if you have not seen it, skip this part. She asked her boyfriend, which was Timothée Chalamet, to consume her so he can be a part of her. Oh no, he asked her. Yeah, she asked her husband or her boyfriend so he can consume her so she could always be a part of him. That's what these people believe, that if you consume the person, that person will be a part of you and you will now have their talent. Just like the show I talked about with the daydream, nightmares and daydream. That's what they believe. If they consume that person, if they consume that part of the person that is considered to be good, maybe the person has a good heart. Oh, I'm going to eat the person's, then I'm going to have a good heart, or I'm going to be a good person because I consume that part of their body, which I believe to be holy and or good. So if we're going to point fingers at things, let's point fingers at everything, because that is very, very demonic as well, but it's in the Bible. Every single Sunday, first Sunday, you're consuming this man's blood, and I guess in remembrance of him. So we're eating him up so we can remember him. Does not make any sense to anybody. Don't all raise your hand at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on here? And why are we not questioning things? It's because we have been taught to not question anything. And isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that we're taught to not question anything at all, even when the thing doesn't make any sense? But the ones who question things are considered, oh, why are you testing God? Why do you not have any faith? What am I supposed to have faith in? If I have this person that I cannot even question, you can only do this or you cannot do that. He put the sin in front of you for you to be tempted. And when you do it, all of a sudden it's a problem. Well, you know I was going to be tempted because you're an all-knowing God. Why do you put it in front of me? So you're literally forcing people to sin so you can...
Welcome back to my series, The Bible Doesn't Make Any Sense. Today's episode, 2 Kings, verse 6, verses 29 through 33. When I tell you, this is one of, if not the most fucked up Bible story that I have read for this series. So grab a snack and settle the fuck in. This story is about the king of the Israelites, and his name was Joram. It's talking about him and the people that are under his rule. During this time, there was a horrible famine happening. People of Israel were at war with the people of Syria. The Syrians jacked up the prices of shit and they made everything insanely hard to get. And these two women were fucking starving, and so they decided to make a deal. Give up your son so that we may eat him today, and tomorrow we will eat my son. So we cooked my son and ate him. The next day I said to her, give up your son so we can eat him, but she had hidden him. This Bible verse is talking about cannibalism. Not just cannibalism done by the Israelites, God's people, because they were starving and had no fucking food. Bet you're wondering, where's God? These are his people. They're starving, they're suffering. Why isn't God helping them? Well, God likes to do this thing where if he's mad at a ruler of the people, he makes the people suffer instead of just the ruler. Apparently, King Joram was, quote-unquote, leading the people of Israel in disobedience of the Lord. Couldn't find any context on what the fuck the people were actually doing. So instead of just punishing the king, God decided to punish everyone. Remember Elisha, the prophet of God that we talked about a couple episodes back? You know, the guy who was made fun of for being bald, and so he just told God to kill a bunch of kids by having them being mauled by 2 bears? Yeah, this guy. King Joram was pissed off at Elisha because he was like, dude, you're the prophet of God. what the fuck is going on? Why are my people starving? So King Joram wanted Elisha dead. So when Elisha found out that King Joram wanted him dead, Elisha's like, well, I've got a promise from God. We're gonna get food tomorrow, so everything's fine now. Which just proves that God could have done it the entire time. So my question is, what the fuck was he waiting for? He was watching these women kill their own children and eat them to survive because they were being disobedient to God. God's just standing there watching them starve. His own people. These are Israelites. What pisses me the fuck off is one of these websites that I found that's like going over this story says this one sentence that makes me want to punch the fuck out of my laptop. Whatever the circumstances, we should never resort to sin, but wait for God's salvation. I'm sorry, what? I'm so lost. What were they supposed to do exactly? Because it sounds to me that God was throwing a little temper tantrum and being like, oh, you want to turn your back on me? Fine, no food for you until you say I'm sorry. Why did God wait until Elisha's life was in danger to finally be like, all right, fine, I'll give them some food? Like, nigga, fuck you. Funny thing is, this chapter ends with Joram saying, the disaster is from the Lord. Why should I wait for the Lord any longer? And you know what? I felt that. Can you imagine the horror of having to kill and cook your own child just so you can survive and not starve to death because your God is mad that you turned your back on him? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not seeing a loving and merciful God at all in this story. It's really fucking funny to me that anytime that I read any of these stories and I'm looking at like the Christian websites that are backing it up, there's so much blame being passed around to literally everyone but the being that deserves it, the being that started it, fucking God. This is what I mean whenever I say that Christians are delusional, because if you can read a story like this and be like, yep, God is a loving God, something wrong with you, and I don't want whatever you got.
Did you know cannibalism is actually in the Bible? Let's talk about it while I finish my night routine. So basically, Israel sinned, they went against the Most High, and in result, they went into captivity. The Most High God was like, since you want to do that, let's go into captivity, and I'm not on your side, suffer. See, Israel is above all nations, and now that they have sinned, the heathen are ruling them. Just like today. So they were in a famine, y'all, and guess what Israel did? They were so hungry, they ate their children. Lamentations 4:10. So it just makes me think, I know another famine is coming because nothing new is under the sun. So is it gonna happen again? The people that are not prepared and the people that go insane, like same spirits from before come right back on earth. When the famine comes, people will literally eat their children. See me, I'm prepared.
So we cooked my son and ate him.
So there are a lot of things in the Bible that the Bible doesn't actually condone or support. It contains murder, but the Bible doesn't support murder. It contains polygamy, but the Bible doesn't support polygamy. In the Bible, people lie, but lying is not condoned either. And all these stories about cannibalism don't suggest that the Bible supports cannibalism. The passage in the clip is a story where two women do something they should not do. Most of the other passages he reads are warnings and not actually showing things that have actually happened. The clear message of Scripture is that God values life, and this kind of behavior is not to be tolerated. Context is really important for understanding anything that the Bible has to say. Ignoring the context is like reading Cinderella and saying that we should act like the evil stepsisters just because the story contains them misbehaving towards Cinderella. Context is key.
Rakuten is saying that he has evidence that we in America are being secretly fed each other. If you're a conspiracy head, you've probably known this for a while, and you're probably familiar with the movie Soylent Green, which came out in the year 1973. It's based in the year 2022, and it has this exact thing going on. A lot of us have seen these ads where Chick-fil-A says our secret ingredient is you. McDonald's and all the different fast food chains are known to say this line.
The masses have a hard time believing anything. Well, we've done a great brainwashing job on them over the centuries, and especially the last few hundred years. We've just brainwashed them completely. They believe anything we tell them. And, in the meantime, we have a lot of fun around Passover where we steal the children. And, I know you know because I've heard it on your show before. I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country. And we drain the blood and we mix it with the Passover blood. And then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own. And we grind up all the bodies in the sausage and the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets. And the people, they eat it for breakfast. They eat their children for lunch. And, as Jews, we gotta do what we do.
Has anyone else realized that this is literally part of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 for when God's people disobey his commandments? You shall eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and daughters, whom the Lord God has given you, in the siege and in the distress with which your enemies shall distress you. So when an entire land lives in extreme disobedience, like how the U.S. is right now and these last few years, God is a just judge. He has to give legal rights where they're owed. So we've been given over to the enemy spiritually. So this is part of the warning that we are getting. And the reason I've been bringing things like this up a lot recently is because I have found that people find God when God shakes worldly systems, when people realize that they can't depend on any man-made system or any man. They come right out, just like it says in Revelation, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of the things that they do in secret. But when anything is exposed by the light, it becomes visible. For anything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. It is time to wake up and find Jesus. He is the only thing that will save us from this mess, and he loves you. Do not be afraid of the things in the world if you are a follower of Christ. If you do not yet know him, I would highly suggest getting to know him. Otherwise, you might want to be afraid.
So we're going to touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal this your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence, and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, calling the beauty in you, and also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to do. It has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick about the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you will need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations. And also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels, and let's see, a 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol is there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil look like, all that, and the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell, and basically